Hello everybody and welcome to my Madden 21 franchise, and here we'll be doing a cloud franchise starting in week 1, of course, with the real life rosters. We'll be using my favorite team, the Washington football team, with their new name or no name or temporary name until they find a new one. And this will be a rebuild, of course. We're only 76 overall, got a good solid defense with the 80 overall rating, but offense needs to work with the 73 overall. And now here we'll go to the league settings. Of course, we're playing as a coach with Ron Rivera, his first season with the Redskins. We're playing on all Madden simulation. I'm going to turn trades off for now. I don't like the trades CPM makes. They're usually not that big anyways. Maybe I'll turn it on right before the deadline. Salary cap on, abilities on, relocation disabled. I don't want anybody to relocate. It just makes the league weird. Much my preference. Pre-existing injuries on, playing 10 minutes with the accelerated clock off. And then, of course, everything manual except for weekly training. I'll leave that on auto because with the CPU, you have an advantage, and if you just sim bronze all the way, you're at a disadvantage because they do get silver and gold sometimes, and it's just kind of annoying to do, so it's just best to leave that on auto. Everything else will be on manual, as we'll be controlling everything. So first off, as a coach, we have to set a season goal, and of course, as a rebuilding team, but in the past, this team has consistently won 7 games. They're very mediocre. And with 7 teams able to make the playoffs now and being in the NFC East, it is very doable to make the playoffs, but we're just going to play it safe and realistic here and just set the objective at 4 wins. So for XP sliders, I did a whole bunch of 10-year sims and try to tweak it so that there's about the same amount of overalls at each position as EA's roster. And I'll leave a link in the description to my Operation Sports thread of these. Please leave me feedback and you can see whenever I update it. So for the sliders, I'll be using Mat 10s, and these are the All Madden version 6 sliders, the most recent as of right now. The only thing I've changed here is field goal power down to 50 from 70, just too many long kicks on 70. Everything else I'm fine with. He has the best sliders year in, year out, so I'll be using these, and whenever he updates them, I'll just update it to that. So I'll leave a link to his thread in the description so you guys can check these out. So for the schemes, I did switch the offensive scheme from a vertical power run to a vertical zone run. The offensive playbook is a vertical power run, but I just prefer this one because our scheme fit is way better, and I'd just rather have an elusive back than a power back. For defense, of course, we're going 4-3, switching from the 3-4 last year. And then, of course, the playbooks, we're just stick with Ron Rivera. And now, looking at our roster, of course, the number one important thing when building a team is you have to have a quarterback. And right now, Washington has a second-year quarterback in Dwayne Haskins, coming out of Ohio State. Doesn't have much experience, did struggle last year, but there is a lot of potential for him. Very strong arm, and I plan on using him as our future quarterback. And of course, we got Alex Smith. He's going to be the third string to make it realistic. With the injury, I don't want to play him as a backup either. Obviously, it doesn't matter in the game, but just be realistic. And, we can't cut him because of his salary cap. Then, of course, the backup is going to be Kyle Allen. Brought him in because Ron Rivera knows him from Carolina. He knows the offense. He'll be a really good backup for us. And he's young, so we can still develop him for the future. The running back position on this team is very interesting. Of course, we cut Adrian Peterson, and our highest overall running back is J.D. McKissick. But I only plan to use him as a third down back. He's not actually going to be our main back, and I'll get into that later. But mostly we'll just see him in the shotgun on third downs. Then we got Peyton Barber here. Only really planning on using him on third downs and short yardage situations, so he'll just be our power back. Then we got Bryce Love in his second season, did not play his rookie season, still recovering for the injury he had in college, and he played his college ball at Stanford with Christian McCaffrey, and he has a whole lot of potential, was a Heisman candidate and everything, and I definitely plan on using him right now. He's our second string running back, but he doesn't really have a role other than that. And then, of course, last but not least, the rookie out of Memphis, Antonio Gibson, 69 overall. Ironically, the lowest rated running back on the team, but yet he is going to be the starter for me. He is considered a weapon. He is also a receiver. He's not just a running back, and definitely plan on using him a lot. He should get most of the carries, but this is going to be a running back by committee and using them to their roles. So, going to spread out the ball a lot with this unit. Then looking at wide receivers, the position is a little weak, but at the number one receiver, we got Terry McLaurin out of Ohio State, teammates with Dwayne Haskins, and he's a rising star, had a phenomenal rookie season, and he is going to show a lot of potential, and we hope he can develop into a superstar. Then the rookie out of Liberty, Gandy Golden, and he is right now listed as the 3rd string receiver, really the 4th. He's behind our slot, but he's ahead of the slot as a receiver overall. But he don't expect him to get too much playing time, but we do hope we can get him involved a little bit so we can develop him. And then of course the slot here, we got Steven Sims, undrafted out of Kansas, was pretty good his rookie season. Obviously didn't get involved until late in the season, but expect big things from him this year with his speed and make a lot of plays for us. We also do have Kelvin Harmon, a 2nd-year player who tore his ACL in the offseason, so he'll be off for the season, but definitely plan on using him in the future. And at tight end position is also a little weak. We've got Logan Thomas. He's 29 years old, so he's a veteran, and he was a 3rd stringer with the Lions. He has not got much playing time in his career, but I think he can be pretty solid for us. Then looking at the offensive line, we've got a rookie here, left tackle we drafted to replace Trent Williams. Sadiq Charles out of LSU won the national championship with Joe Burrow, and he will not be starting. He is not ready yet. We have Jerron Christian, a 3rd year out of Louisville. And again, he's only a 65 overall, so the position is very weak. So we are hurting at left tackle now with Trent Williams being gone. And hopefully Christian can step it up. But we are definitely developing Sadiq Charles to step it up and eventually take his spot. At left guard, we got Wes Martin, a 65 overall. Again, 2nd-year player, young. We still develop him. Behind him, we got another 65 overall, a veteran. And the left side of the line is the weakness. And we got to make sure we beef it up. We'll try to develop them, but we probably have to replace them in the draft. At center, we do have the rookie Keith Ismail, 61 overall, but the starter will be Chase Roulier. He's been with the team a couple years, 27 years old. He's 75 overall, been pretty solid for us. Don't really have to worry about this. And then looking at right guard, the highest rated overall player on our team, superstar dev, Brandon Scherf out of Iowa, 87 overall, and he is going to be really good for us. We're going to try to run his way all the time, as we should, with a guard as elite as him. We're going to have to make sure we extend him for the future. In that right tackle, we got Morgan Moses, 75 overall. He is 29, so we'll probably regress soon, so we might need to replace him. Offensive line does need a lot of work, but we're pretty good at right guard and center, and we can live with our right tackle for a while. Now looking at the defensive line, the strength of this team, 5 first-round picks spent on the defensive line, arguably the best defensive line in the league, up there with the 49ers. Still got Ryan Kerrigan, 84 overall, at 32 years old. And then, of course, the highly touted rookie, another Ohio State player, just like Nick Bosa, 80 overall. Chase Young, going to be an absolute monster for this team, and could end up being one of the best pass rushers in this league in the future for years to come. And this defensive line is just stacked. They're going to put pressure on the quarterback. Of course, you got Montez Sweat as well, 76 overall out of Mississippi State. Traded up for him in the 1st round last year. And that's 3 amazing edge rushers you can have. You can rotate them in, keep them fresh, and it's just going to be really hard for the offensive lines to handle. It's going to help out the secondary a lot. And of course, the defensive tackles, Matt Ioannidis, a 5th round pick out of Temple, an 86 overall now, a 5th-year player. He is a star, and he is incredibly strong and just a dominant pass rusher up the middle. And then, of course, Deron Payne out of Alabama, the run stuffer. He can rush the passer too, but he's mainly a run stopper. So mainly see him in the run stopping situations, but again, he can still rush the passer very well. Then, of course, Jonathan Allen, one of the captains of this defense, another Alabama player, and he's just an all-around good player. Can stop the run, can rush the passer, and he's just an all-around leader, a solid person to have in the locker room. Just a great anchor for this defensive line. Now for the linebackers, we've got Sean Deanna Hamilton and Kevin Pierre-Louis on the left side. Reuben Foster is a player we do have. He still has not played yet, and 75 overall. He missed his first season with the Redskins with that ACL injury, and the Redskins put him on IR and did not make the final 3 roster, so he will be out for the season. Hopefully, we'll get him back for next year, and definitely expect him to have an impact, but now he's starting to miss some valuable years, so not sure, but definitely has potential. Already 26 though. Then Cole Holcomb, the 2nd-year player out of North Carolina, 68 overall, had a really good rookie season, and right now he's the 2nd middle linebacker on the team, and we'll see what he can do. Definitely want to get him on the field and develop him. He could be our future middle linebacker. And then, of course, the starters, John Bostic, the veteran, 69 overall. He'll be starting. Right outside linebacker, we got Thomas Davis, of course, from Carolina, the reliable tackler. Kaliki Hudson, the rookie. Now looking at corners, Kendall Fuller, drafted him in the 3rd round years ago, traded him in the Alex Smith trade, and won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and now he's back in Washington, and he is going to be a #1 corner, 86 overall, the 13th best corner in the league. Should help out the secondary a lot. Of course, you got Ronald Darby, Fabian Moreau, Jimmy Moreland. Secondary not too highly rated, but I do believe in them. Free safety, third-year player, Troy Apke, 69 overall, out of Penn State, and definitely needs some work, but I believe in this. The speed is insane. I think it is there. It's a little bit of a project, but if we can develop him, I think he can be a pretty good safety for us. Just that speed is insane. And then we drafted Cameron Curl at safety. Of course, we got Landon Collins, star, former Giant. Switched his number from 20 to 26 for this season. 81 overall, and he's just great for stopping the run. There's a great strong safety, and of course he is a captain. Looking at the injury report, a few guys did opt out for the season. Reuben Foster and Kelvin Harmon, their development will be hurt a little bit, missing the season, but other than that, we are pretty healthy and we are ready to go for the season. So for our season opener, week #1, we'll be taking on our division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, at home. And looking at their injury report, they'll be without Brandon Brooks, their elite right guard, and their left tackle. Marquise Goodwin out as well. So the defensive line will look to take advantage of the injured offensive line. And I will see you guys in the next video in week #1 as we kick off the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. Later.